after that we're recording. There we go. If you're not familiar with our KV Core success meetups, when I teach a success meetup, I do pop the recording into the agenda. So you'll see it down here, today's recording link. You'll see that there. Additionally, all of our recordings do get added to Inside Real Estate's YouTube channel. So to access that, again, you can grab it from the agenda that I put in the chat. I'll explain where that link is showcased. But additionally, you can go to YouTube, type in Inside Real Estate and find us, or through the live training calendar in your KV Core platform over here on the right on the KV Core dashboard. There's also a quick link to the Inside Real Estate YouTube channel as well. So multiple ways to access that, and all of our success meetup recordings do get added there. So great question in the chat. So for today's doc, we're going to talk a little bit about what resources are available to you when you want to learn more about your KV Core platform. We've already talked a bit about the YouTube channel, but we'll talk about other resources as well. Today, specifically, we're going to talk about the learning portal in KV Core. We're going to talk about the one course that we recommend for every single one of our users. And of course, I've got some suggestions here for if your brokerage has platform add-ons, courses for lenders, for brokers, for company and office admins, if you're running a team, for generating and converting more leads, and marketplace offerings. Now, it would probably take us our entire session if I talked about every single one of these courses in detail. So a lot of this is just added here for your reference. So you can always go back to the doc if you want some suggestions on what to check out. I do want to mention for some of you out there, your learning portal might look a little bit different than what we're talking about here today, depending on your brokerage. Some of you guys out there actually might have custom learning portals that are just for your brokerage. So your brokerage might actually be providing some different courses as well, depending. So just something to note there. Not for majority of our users, but some of them out there do have a custom portal. So for today's session, again, I mentioned I'm going to start by talking about available resources. I've got links to all of these included in the agenda that I shared out in the chat. I have noticed we grabbed another user has joined us since we started here. So I'm going to reshare out the webinar agenda in the chat for you guys. So anyone who popped in a little late, want to make sure you're not missing too much. So this agenda that we're talking about in the chat, or talking about on my screen, is also available as a link in the chat. So you should be able to click that and open it up on your end. Now, for this agenda, let's quickly talk through these first couple items here. So the support center in KV Core, I know it's not everyone's first thought to jump into KV Core and look at our articles, but the support center here under your support and training tab here on the left-hand side is definitely one of the first places that a lot of our trainers will go to if we need to remember a specific detail about a feature or a function in KV Core. These support articles are very thorough. They're usually the best resource for specific answers. And I want to mention, if you've been hesitant to look at our support articles before, these are, usually all have an article section, an index at the beginning. So, behavioral automation, there's a lot that could be said about that automation tool in KV Core, for example. If I just want to skip to how do I edit it or turn it off, or how I'm alerted, I can do that. I can switch to those. We do try to make sure there's videos and photos in those support articles, so you don't have to just read a giant block of text. So even if your learning style, maybe just reading something is not going to help ingrain that in your brain, the support articles are a great resource for you. Now, we already talked about the YouTube channel, which you can grab through the live training calendar. I'll just click on the live training calendar one more time to open that up. This is also additionally how you can enroll for more of our success meetup webinars. I'll probably make another couple recommendations about webinars as we talk about the courses, as a lot of topics in KV Core have multiple resources. A lot of the automation in KV Core has, not only a support article, topical, but it's usually discussed in a course. And there might also be a webinar on that topic. So we'll talk about your different resources. If you're someone who just loves live webinar content, the live training calendar is where you want to go for that. And again, you just make sure you're choosing the time zone which best applies to you. So that way you've got the correct date and time when you're looking at these when you go to sign up for them. I do want to mention a lot of our trainings currently, since a lot of our trainers do work on the West Coast, a lot of these are set based on Pacific Standard Time. Now, additionally, through the live training calendar, I mentioned there's that sneaky link to Inside Real Estate's YouTube channel, but there's also a link here to the Facebook discussion group. And I have noticed that there's even more people joining in recently, lots of discussions that have been going on, not just about KV Core, but about real estate in general. If you're looking for, recommendations, if you're looking for advice, if you want to share a success story about a tool or something that really helped you, there's some great resources in here. So definitely encourage you, if you haven't joined the Inside Real Estate Facebook group, that's a great one to have on hand as well. And then, of course, for today's topic, we're talking about the learning portal, which you can access on the main dashboard in KV Core, or additionally through support and training if you head on over to the learning portal there. So multiple ways to access that. You also have access to our support team through chat or through email. I do want to mention, if we have any users on the call today that don't have that little chat feature in the bottom right-hand corner of your platform, for some of you, you might have, again, a separate chat support team that you reach out to for questions. So I've made sure to list all those resources here. Keep in mind your brokerage as well is a resource. I know some of you guys out there, your brokerage specifically might have in-office trainings or online trainings or something that's specific to your brokerage. One additional resource that I'll make visible here as well, I do from time to time get people that are really looking for some one-on-one help. If you want to pay for training, that is an option, or sorry, pay for help, I would say, like a one-on-one Zoom screen share, that is an available option through the KV Core marketplace as well. So I'll just quickly showcase through the marketplace option. You scroll on down. There is one-on-one help sessions here as well. So couple different resources, but today we're focusing on the learning portal, which has all of our self-paced courses. And again, they're made self-paced for a very specific reason. We know you guys are busy. You probably don't have, days or weeks to dedicate to courses. Your schedules might be all over the place. A typical, say Tuesday for you might be running back and forth to listings. It might be picking the kids up from soccer. It might be, meeting a client about their home or other specific needs. So your schedule, I'm sure is all over the place. There's always more things that you got to pack into your schedule without needing to add in a course. So for those courses, I just want to mention they all save your place wherever you leave off at. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well today when we unpack the learning portal. So let's jump into the learning portal, and don't worry guys, I'll make sure to just keep this kind of short and sweet. We'll talk about some of the key features in the learning portal if you haven't explored it for yourself. And then of course, if you have other KV Core questions that you want to, have addressed, feel free to pop those in the Q&A and chat, because again, today's session is also open Q&A. So if you have something, whether it's related to our topic today or not, I'm here to help with that as well. So feel free to pop those in as well. But in your learning portal, a couple things to point out to you guys. When you first open it up, you'll typically see all the courses available to you. Again, for some of you out there, depending on your brokerage, yours might look a little bit different. You might have different colors. If you're seeing one that says Inside Real Estate specifically, you have the learning portal that's provided to most of our general KV Core users. Again, some brokerages might have a custom portal, so that means your portal might work a little different than what I'm showcasing here. Now, if you ever say enroll in a course, if I go click into one and click, say, click here to start the course, and I need to go back to that course, up at the top here, you've got a My Dashboard tab that you can click into, and it's going to show you all the courses that you're enrolled in and how far you were through each of those courses. So it gives you a little percentage there as well. So if you ever need to go back to your courses, just know that you've got the My Dashboard option up here at the top. Now, additionally, for a lot of these courses, when you go to enroll into them, you will likely be emailed and notified of your progress in the course. So usually it's about a weekly or so email that lets you know that you have courses that have not completed. So you will get email updates as well. If you ever need to be taken off those email updates, you can reach out to our chat support. They'll put them in touch with our training team, and we can get you unenrolled if necessary. Now, with these courses, there's a couple courses I really want to draw everyone's attention to. The first of which is the Agent Quick Start course. Now, we recommend this for just about every single one of our users, even the admins. If you're not just working KiwiCore as an agent, if you're working as an admin, we still recommend this for you as well. And additionally, there's a reason that that's also listed on the main dashboard, because that is definitely the one we recommend to all of our users. Now, the Agent Quick Start course, really just split into a couple of sections. You're mostly watching some short videos. There's also a handy checklist in each section that's going to recommend that you try out certain tools in KiwiCore. And in that Agent Quick Start, we also do have links for each of the sections to join an interactive webinar. These webinars have actually recently been revamped, so they work a little different. If you've been with KiwiCore for a few years or so and you've taken the Agent Quick Start course in the past, I do want to mention these webinars have recently been updated. And they do have live moderated chat. So you're watching a trainer go through the process, but you can also jump into those, ask your questions as you're going through the course, and there is a trainer on the other end to answer those questions for you. So just something I want to mention about that. Now, what's really cool about the Agent Quick Start course in particular, besides just kind of going through all the basics of KiwiCore, setting up your profile, how to label your contacts, the automation pieces, your websites, your listings, importing contacts, syncing third-party leads, besides covering all your bases, I do want to mention that there's ways that you can track your progress throughout the course. There is also ways that if your admin or, your broker is requiring that you take the course, there is ways that they can also check in on your progress with this course. And additionally, you are also emailed a completion certificate when you finish the course. Actually, a lot of our courses in the Learning Portal will email you a completion certificate when you're completed. I do want to mention a lot of agents don't get the credit for completing the course because they might stop once they finish the information in section 4. I do want to mention, if you're going through these courses, it's a good idea to make sure to click complete and continue all the way through. So I'll give you a quick example of what I mean by that. If I were to start this course, or I guess I should probably resume the course, we'll go and we'll click and resume the course. If I go all the way to the end and hit complete and continue on the very end of it. Now you will have to work your way through the course. You won't always be able to, say skip ahead. But once you reach the end of it, you've gone through the entire course, make sure you're hitting that last complete and continue. Because until you hit that very last one, it will still show that you haven't completed the course yet. So to make sure you're really getting credit for doing the training that you're doing, especially if your admin or broker is monitoring that, it's a good idea to make sure you hit complete and continue all the way at the end. Now, when it comes to tracking how you're doing with the Agent Quick Start course, you're going to see those metrics in your business analytics. I'll go ahead and I'll open that up real quick. Now, I've pointed out if you've ever been to a KV Core orientation, we always try to emphasize that, hey, in your source performance, you can check how different lead sources are converting over time. Your KV Core activity is going to show you how your automation, your engagement is doing. You can check in on unengaged leads there. Consumer interest is going to update you on activity to your website. But a lot of times we don't talk about these agent performance and agent success tabs. Agent success is, definitely what a lot of your admins may be checking in on and time to time to see if you're working in KV Core. It will show them if you've logged in the last 30 days, which mine looks a little bit funny now. I'm not sure why it says I'm not logged in. But additionally, it shows that I have important contacts, that I'm engaging with those contacts. This would show if I'd created a contact in the last 30 days, which that should turn green as well. It will also show how far you've gone through the Agent Quick Start course. It'll show if you've started, not started, or completed. And if you're enrolled in other courses, give an idea of how many leads that you have in the system. So just a little thing to note there. If you can't remember if you completed the Agent Quick Start course, you'll see if you've completed it here. You'll also see if you're enrolled in other courses here as well. So just something I like to point out from business analytics. Now, while we recommend the Agent Quick Start course to all of our users, you'll notice that there's a lot of courses or kind of groups of courses that are for specific purposes here as well. If your brokerage has purchased some of our platform add-on tools like Core Listing Machine or Core Present or Core Back Office or Core Home, there's different categories for those. Again, you should know when you receive your account if your brokerage has those platform add-ons. It's usually something that's shared with you. Not every brokerage has those. So we have courses specific to those. They won't be, they won't pertain to all of our users. I do want to mention something with this Core Listing Machine here, just while we're here. There's different courses, whether you're an agent or an admin user in KV Core. This Core Listing Machine course is the legacy version of Core Listing Machine. If you've been with KV Core for many years now and you have Core Listing Machine, you probably have the legacy version. I do want to mention there is a new Core Listing Machine. It's called Core Listing Machine and Design Center that is launching fairly soon. And so a lot of our newer onboarding users, if you've just been with us, maybe you just joined in the last, this year or so, and you have Core Listing Machine, you probably have that new Core Listing Machine and Design Center, which of course will be coming out shortly. And it will specifically say in front of it that it's the new Core Listing Machine course. So not currently displayed here. I do want to mention if you have that new version, there's no need to go ahead and take the legacy version. I would actually advise against that, as that might be a little confusing as things will work differently with the newer version. So that course will be coming out soon. Additionally, there is a webinars for both the legacy version of Core Listing Machine, and there is a new webinar for the new version of Core Listing Machine if you want to dive into that. So just something I thought I'd share out with you guys. Now, additionally, I also like to point out a lot of people overlook these bundled courses as well. If you're an agent user in KV Core agents getting started will outline a lot of the tools in KV Core itself, the ones that just all of our KV Core users have, like their daily calls and tasks, access to the advanced email editor, how to edit their websites. So these are all courses that are relevant to just about every single KV Core agent user. So great ones to jump into. I know I get a lot of people to ask questions about updating their website, so you could take that course. I also want to mention, of course, there's support articles on it. There's YouTube videos on it. Additionally, if you're taking that Agent Quick Start course, we talk about it a lot in section 3. Additionally, there's some more advanced courses. So KV Core Agents Becoming a Master will walk you through different ways to use some more advanced tools. So if you didn't know, you can create virtual open house events through KV Core. So it has some tips on that. And then a lot of these are about converting your leads, generating more leads and referrals, and real estate retargeting. So if you're looking to utilize things like Facebook to, if you were looking for advice on how to add your Facebook pixel, this is a course that talks about that. I get a lot of users that ask about Facebook pixels. Additionally, using Facebook to create a custom audience, launching ads. So lots of ones to unpack there. So I notice a lot of people don't notice those courses. So I like to draw your eye to those bundles. Those can sometimes be really helpful. And of course, in the agenda that I shared out in the chat, I've gone ahead and I've made specific, recommendations, but depending on what it is you need. So if you just want to use basic KV Core platform tools, if your brokerage has specific platform add-on products, again, you don't need to take these courses unless your brokerage has those add-on products. Otherwise, I wouldn't, take your time learning a little bit more about generating and converting leads instead is where I would direct you. And of course, there's courses specifically for lenders. If I've got any lenders joined with us here today, courses specifically for your admins, if you're running a team in KV Core, and some on our marketplace offerings as well. In a lot of our webinars, we might point out that through the marketplace, if you want someone at KV Core to build out blogs and newsletters and ads and campaigns for you, you can utilize our Done For You services team for the marketplace. We do actually have a course that talks a little bit about that as well. All right. So that's all I'm going to talk about here today because I don't want to use all of our time just reviewing this information. Of course, if you have additional questions about the Learning Portal, feel free to pop those in the Q&A or the chats. But this is the time where I want to make sure we kind of break away from today's subject and that I'm here to answer your specific questions. So anything related to today's topic or about KV Core in general, feel free to share those out. I'm going to double check our chat, our Q&A, and see what I can answer for you guys right now. I did notice I missed one a while back from, let's see, in the chat. Stephanie said, interested in learning if there's a way to send a link through KV Core to sign up for my website and alerts. I see the option to send email to download app. I did a test of that, but I'm not being notified when they save properties, etc., like when they are on a KV Core search. Okay, so a couple different ways that you could do this. And I want to unpack that question because I feel like there's multiple things to address in that question. So there's lots of ways that you can lead users to your website. You can use the basic, mass emails and mass texts, of course. You can, you could just share a link to your website, but usually a more useful tool would be to create a lead generation tool from our lead engine. So you could create a landing page that drives users to your website for a plethora of reasons. You could drive them to your website to look at multiple listings. You could drive them or squeeze pages here, make it really easy to drive users to your website to sign up for a search alert or a market report or a home valuation. So different ways that you could use these and share them out online. Now, if we have time remaining, I'm happy to dive into these a little bit and give you a little bit more of a thorough example other than just talking about it here. If we don't have time today, I do want to mention our YouTube channel does have videos on how to build out landing pages and squeeze pages. So if you haven't tried those yet before, that would be a great way to, drive users to your website through KV Core. Now, when it comes to being notified about your new leads, there's a couple different ways that you can adjust how you're notified. Now, if you've downloaded the KV Core mobile app, so let me go ahead and talk about that real quick here. If you guys don't have the KV Core mobile app or the Open House app, up here, upper right-hand corner. Download mobile apps. This is a great way to text yourself a link to download these. And on the KV Core mobile app, you can actually set up where you get push notifications. So when you get that new lead, you're notified on the app, so you can speed to them more efficiently that way. Now, definitely the main dashboard, that activity stream, is going to show you when they're viewing listings, performing activities on your site. Most users are also emailed a notification. You may also want to consider looking at lead routing as well. For leads that are generated through, say, your websites, if I go and click on my routing rule, it looks like I'm notified here by text and by email of those new leads that are coming in. You can adjust how you're notified if you like to through your lead routing rules for, say, the website leads, things like that. Now let's also see. I noticed I know there's another pop-up in the chat, but I do want to shift gears. I noticed Larry has been waiting patiently in the Q&A. Larry says it would be nice if a link to the YouTube video that pertains to the article that's linked in the article. That's not a bad suggestion. You're talking about in those support center articles, if there was more YouTube videos linked. I feel like some of these might have some YouTube videos linked. I go and say scroll down to the bottom. Sometimes we have additional related content down here at the bottom. Usually they might link to other support articles, but I have seen some that support or link to YouTube videos. So that's a really great feedback. And I'm going to take that back to my team that might be something we want to look into. I do want to mention, recently, especially with the add-on of the success meetups, which we only started doing the success meetups 3 times a week starting last year, I believe. There is definitely a lot of new content on the YouTube channel and a lot more than there was previously. So there's a lot more YouTube videos coming out. So I think that's a great, that's great feedback for us to go back to those support articles and, possibly link some of those as well. I will mention I have a lot of users that are starting to also engage more with the Facebook group and ask questions there. And we have a lot of team members that check out those Facebook group questions and will sometimes share a link to a YouTube video if someone's looking for specific advice on it, how to do, a specific thing like create a landing page or a squeeze page. So thanks for your feedback. About blogging. Okay, so attached a WordPress blog to resources, but also start blogging on the KV Core website. Want to keep both, but I want to know if the KV Core blog gives consumer access to all blog posts I write on the actual KV Core. So you should be able to have both. So it sounds like you added the WordPress blog to your resources on your website. So let me open up my KV Core website. Now, your resources is another tab up here at the top. I don't have my resources showcasing because I'm showcasing other custom pages that I have up here. Typically, when you create a custom page, it's going to go under your default of what's called a resources tab. So if you added in that blog to your resources tab, it would showcase here. Now, when you're blogging through KV Core, which for anyone who's not familiar with blogging through KV Core, you can start a blog through your Web and IDX tab. There's a whole section on website blog. All you have to do is go click add post and start typing in. Now, when you start a blog through this add post option, that actually shows up in 2 different places. It'll show up under the your agent tab. So once you start blogging, there'll be a little blog section there. Additionally, if I scroll to the bottom of my website, you'll usually also see blog posts down at the bottom as well. Additionally, if you're not seeing your website looking quite like that, there are these widget templates that you can add to the homepage of your site. And if you really want to drive more users to your blog page, I could add in a widget that links to the blog page. So it's right there on the home page, emphasizes your blog, and drives more users to that as well. So that is something I could add to my homepage widget. So just something I like to point out there. And of course, while we're on the topic of blogs, if I have anyone out there that's looking for advice, tips for blogging on the KV Core website, we've done a couple different success meetups on blogging now. So you'll find those on the YouTube channel. All right. And then let's see also in the chat, can you share how to set up e-alerts? We have 2 settings on how to segment out specific e-alerts for multiple listings if possible. Yeah, let's put someone on a search alert through KV Core. So in the Smart CRM, let me go and we'll grab Kelly today. And I'm going to go ahead and there's a couple different ways that I could do this. Now, keep in mind, you can drive your users to the search tab on your website and they can sign themselves up for search alerts. So quickly we'll point out the Find My Dream Home tab here. If I head on over there, there is an option where they can go and they can filter for listings. They can do a polygon search and they can save those searches. Additionally, your users always have the capability, if they're receiving those search alert emails and they go to click on a listing, it's going to take them to your website and it's going to auto log them in so they can actually see their saved searches. They can go back and reference them again and again. So here we go, where I could go to save a search if I've gone and filtered for something. Additionally, you can put users on the same search alert en masse. You'll find that option through the marketing tool in KV Core, or I can put an individual on a search alert. Now, I've opened up an individual profile from my CRM. And on the right-hand side, I can see whatever automation she's on. Looks like she has one search alert already set up. I can add another one if I want to create another one. So I just click that add button. Sorry, that was a little fast there. All I did was click the add button here. Additionally, there is the alerts tab up at the top. Either way, it's going to take you to the same search alert page. I do want to mention, if they are not subscribed to email, this option for search alerts will be grayed out. So it'll show that you can't add one in. They do have to be subscribed to email, as that's how they are sent those listings through those search alerts. So they are sent by email. Of course, after you create one, you can text them the recent results, something I like to point out as well. All right, so let's go ahead, and she's already got one set up. I could go and view results, or I can set up a separate search if I want to. So I'm just going to click on this one here. And very bare minimum, look for those asterisks there. There's just a couple pieces of information that are required. The first of which is, what area are they looking for homes? And you'll notice the examples we give. Are they looking, in a particular city, county, or zip code? Can't add an entire state here. You don't want to add anything as narrow as an individual home address. So I'm going to go ahead and type in San Diego. We're located in California, so that's kind of tends to be my default. I do want to mention, when I type that in, I get some options usually. I'm talking about the county, the city, a specific neighborhood, and I can add in more than one area if I wanted to when I'm creating it this way. So just something to note there. Additionally, like the website, I could draw it on a map, so I could do a polygon search if I'd prefer here. And I can toggle on geographical areas, which will pull listings based on latitude and longitude. That's sometimes helpful if you're looking for, say, a specific school district. And Larry asked a great question in the chat. Can you create search alerts that can be used in social media, not attached to clients? You can share out multiple listings. So it's kind of like you're pulling up a search alert in a squeeze page and sharing those listings out. So yes, it doesn't necessarily have to be attached to a client. So we'll try to, time allowing, after I answer these questions, I'll try to give a little visual of what I'm talking about there. Now, with frequency, the default is once weekly. I'll let you know if you're importing contacts with search alerts triggering as soon as they're imported. that also defaults to once weekly. That's usually our default here, but you can always go back and you can adjust it if you need to. If it's a hot market, maybe you want them to be notified as soon as there's a new listing. If you're just using this for maybe your sphere contacts, friends or family members, and you just want to casually keep in touch this way, maybe you want to put it on them, for just twice a month or monthly. So feel free to adjust the frequency. You can CC another individual on this. I'm sure most of you guys know how to choose, what kind of type they're looking for if you need to. Additionally, would know how to choose. I'm just going to go click multifamily for fun here. Price range, beds, baths. I'm sure a lot of this information is nothing new to you guys. Now, you don't have to fill out all of these fields. It's totally up to you, as much or as little as you decide to use. I do want to mention when we scroll down to amenities, when we're talking about the different options, these do use what's called and logic. So if you're choosing a lot of these, beware, as they must qualify, a listing must fit all of the criteria that you choose to be included in the search alert email. So if I were to choose, say, fixer upper and newly built is the example I like to give, I'm probably not going to pull up a lot of listings that meet both of those pieces of criteria. So be wary, it won't do an either or situation. It would only share out a listing if it matched both sets of criteria. So just something to be aware of with that. And you can also add in keywords as well. So keywords do require a little bit of work, or a little bit of typing on your part to really search your options. A keyword could be, maybe they're looking for a specific type of flooring. So go ahead and type in flooring. There we go. It's giving me that option. And then on the right-hand side, I've got different flooring options. So I could select, hardwood or wall-to-wall carpet. So different options with those keywords. And then I can set the alert. The alert will go out depending on the frequency at which I've set it. Or if I want them to receive this right away, I can hit save and send. I'm just going to set the alert for now. And you should see if there are any results. It looks like the MLS that we have connected to our demo account is acting a little funny today. So I apologize, there's no results here, but it would normally pull up some results. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure why it reverted back to alert 1, but there we go. There's my alerts for, there's my results for alerts 2. And again, I can come here if I want to email recent results at any time after I've created this, or I can text out recent results, or I could also copy this link and put it anywhere I like. All right, and let's see, there was another question in the chat, and then I'll quickly try to bring it back to Larry's question about using search alerts in social media, not tied to a specific client. But let's see. Oh, Larry, you've got all the great questions here today. Thanks for attending. Okay, he says, we have an agent that when she tries to copy and paste a link for a squeeze page on Facebook, comes up with an error. Okay, and when we try to share a single listing on Facebook, it won't let us go back. And back up, it takes the entire post away. Okay. Let me go into the lead engine and let's talk a little bit about the squeeze pages real quick. So I'm going to go ahead. First thing you'll do is you'll have to select a domain. I know there are some users, if you are joined with us here today, you don't have a KV Core website connected. Please note that you will have to have one in order to utilize tools like squeeze pages from the lead engine. And these squeeze pages, if you're new to KV Core, is a link that you can use to share out online. Where people are directed typically to your website to view listings or sign up for a market report. We'll talk about the different options you can create here. And, it's going to direct them there to typically sign up. You can also create these where they're not required to sign up if that's your choice. But yes, different ways to attract attention to your website and generate leads. So I'm going to go ahead and click start building here. And the first thing I want to ask is for your agent that's having trouble posting a squeeze page on the website, or sorry, on her Facebook page. I do want to ask, after she goes and she creates a link, is she using the direct link for Facebook or is she using the short link? And I'm going to say if she's using the short link, you're going to want to direct her to use she tried both. Okay, that sounds a little funny in that case. In that case, that sounds like a bug that you may need to report to support. I will mention for any newer users with us, if you tried making a squeeze page, I do recommend in 99.9 of your posts, you're going to want to use the direct link. Short link is really only suitable. You could use that probably on Twitter. You'd probably use that short link in a text message, but for places like Facebook, the direct link is going to work better. Now, it is a bigger, longer, uglier link, I will admit. Let me go to my history here and show some past examples. So I'm going to go and copy the link here. And we'll pretend to post on Facebook real quick. Give me 1 second for me to pull that up on my page here. I'll give a quick little example if I can. Okay, so there is a Facebook page that I'm showing on my page here, and I'm going to go ahead and paste in that code. Now that actually looks like the short link that it saved for me. Now, typically after you post your link in there, if you're worried about, showing off a big log ugly link, once your photo populates on that posting, you can go and you can remove that and you can just type in whatever your call to action is. So you don't even have to keep that link posted there and it should show your posting just fine. Keep in mind in your call to action, you want to keep it short, sweet, attention grabbing. You might also want to let them know that to see those listings, they should click on the image. That's what's going to take them to your website. And sometimes it's also nice to add something in your call to action that encourages them to comment below. So I might put something like, comment below which house was your favorite, which house you're most excited for, do it in a fun way that is relevant to, the information that you're sharing out. So something that I would mention here. All right. And then, again, you can just post that out to send them back to your website. When you are creating squeeze pages, I will let you know, you can require them to register. That's one of the options that you get when you're building this out. That's one of the ways you can help ensure that you're capturing leads with this process. But of course, if they go to register, then you're capturing that lead and then if you sign them on search alerts, that'll be specific to that client. If you just want to share this out just to get more exposure and you don't want to require registration, that's something you can choose as well. So different ways to use it. In some cases, if you want more exposure, more places to post out those squeeze page links, might be worthwhile to say join some Facebook groups. And for some of those groups, I know sometimes there can be rules about requiring registration. This is a helpful workaround for that. So you can choose not to have them required to sign up just to view those listings. And let's see. And Larry, and you're with Remax and your new users, your website cover photo only shows the upper portion of the photo, the sky. I did report this. I would mention that sounds like, and I'm assuming since you said you reported it, you probably already checked out in WebIDX what photo is showing. Now, when you go to WebIDX and you check out your edit settings here, for anyone who's not familiar, I do want to mention with Remax, you'll have some options may look a little different depending on, what's set up by Remax. But you've got background images that are typically pre-chosen from KV Core. And then most of our users have the option to upload their own image as well. They do recommend specific sizes, but additionally, after you choose an image, so go ahead and I'll upload an image just to give a visual of this to kind of talk through what I was about to explain here, is when you're uploading your own photo. Let me grab a picture real quick. Oh, just on the iPad, the website and the phone are fine. Okay, yeah, that definitely sounds like a support issue there. But just a quick, just because, you brought it to my mind here. Now, I didn't choose the right size photo, which is why it looks a little grainy here. Again, keep in mind of those recommendations there. But I do like to point out if you're uploading your own photo, For those that have never tried this before, you can't adjust what's showcasing here. So I know for some users, I have heard from time to time someone uploads their own photo and they're wondering, hey, why isn't this showing the right part of the image? How do I adjust that? It is something that you can actually choose as soon as you've uploaded it. So say I want to showcase, let's do it more to the center. I'm going to go ahead and hit confirm. I can choose that before I upload this photo. So new users that are uploading their own photos, just a word of warning there. Sorry, you brought it to my mind, so I wanted to make sure I addressed that. All right, we got a couple minutes left. Let's see what else we have here. Any other chats? All right, folks, any other questions in the Q&A or the chat? Again, doesn't have to be related to the learning portal, doesn't have to be related to squeeze pages or search alerts, but, just wanted to help try to address that with you guys. While I'm waiting for any last minute questions before we wrap it up, I want to remind you guys, I'm sharing out this agenda in the chat one last time in case we had anyone who joined us a little bit late. Again, this agenda is going to include, quick links to a lot of your learning resources in KV Core, quick links to a lot of the recommended courses that we talked about. Again, the Agent Quick Start course is the one we recommend for all users, and there's ways that you can track your progress through the business analytics. Additionally, I will make sure to update that questionnaire and include today's recording link here. So give me about an hour or two for this to render through Zoom. I'll come back, I'll update the recording link and the questionnaire then as well. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions pop in the chat, so I think we're going to close out today's session for now. Thank you guys again for joining. Always appreciate your input at these success meetups. I hope this was helpful and you have a wonderful rest of your day. Again, we do teach these every Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, so feel free to come back and join us again. Oh, yeah, let me see real quick here before we wrap it up.